everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're not. So for today's look, I'm doing a Priyanka Chopra inspired tutorial from this year's Oscars. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. This was a viewer request. And the look itself is nice and natural and subtle, but a little bit glam. The eyes are just more defined and slightly smoky just around the lash line, but they're not overdone. And then the pinky tones on the lip and the cheek, I think, really make it more youthful. So without any further ado, if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start off with the brows, and I'm taking the Rimmel brow pencil in 004 Black Brown. And I'm going to start by underlining the brow. And I'm not going to be able to completely change the shape of my brow, but just to make them a little bit more similar to hers, I'm trying to straighten them out a little bit, and then her arch is just a little bit more rounded. So I'm also kind of creating that shape on the top, and then I'm going to brush through that product on the top so it's not too harsh. And then to carve out underneath and use as a base on the eye, I'm going to try one of the concealers from the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover palette. I'm going to take the lighter shade. I'm using that on a Sedona Lace EB11. So again, I'm just softening out that product and brushing it out at the top edge. And then I'm taking more of that concealer, and we'll take that all the way across the eye as our base. So now I'm just going to do the same on the other side. So next, just before I set that, I'm just going to pat out any creasing that has taken place. We don't want to set those in. And then I'm taking a fluffy crease brush and a little bit of a cream coloured eyeshadow, and I'm just setting that concealer. So we're just dusting that all the way over to make sure that it stays in place. So next, onto our shadows, and I'm going into the original Urban Decay Naked palette. And with that same fluffy crease brush, I'm going to take Buck, which is a matte medium brown. And we're just going to use that as a crease colour. So that's going into the crease line and blending upwards with circular motions. So as you can see, that just adds some depth into that crease line, but it's nice and subtle, it's not too strong. Her eyeshadows weren't overly dramatic or anything, it was nice and subtle and just complementary to her eyes. And then before I add some under the eye, I'm just going to add some concealer first. So I'm actually going to go back into that Infallible Total Cover palette. And I'm first going to take this middle shade here because it's a little bit more peachy. Just pop that over any darker areas, and that peachiness will help correct any kind of like blue undertones coming through. Okay, so now that we have that under eye corrected, I'm going to go back with my Buck and just take that under the lower lash line, just as a little bit of shading. And then for the lid, it was hard to get some good pictures of her makeup as such, but any close-up pictures that I could get, it seems to be that she has kind of a goldy shimmery shade on the lid. So I'm going to take a little bit of Half Baked first. I'm switching to a flat shader brush. I'm going to pop that on the inner third of the lid, or we'll say inner half. Okay, and then I'm going to flip my brush over and go into Smog. which is more of a bronzy shade. And that's going on the outer half. So I'm going to start in the outer corner and bring it in to meet the gold. So once I've brought it into the center, I'm just going to feather it across and just do little back and forth motions. Then I'm going to go back over to my gold side of the brush, pick up a little bit of gold and feather that over the line. So you're mixing the two shades where they meet. And then I'm just going to go back around the edges of those in the crease with my buck shade, just to make sure that there's no harsh lines there. Then for liner, I'm going to take a pencil liner. This is the Marc Jacobs Black Coeur Fine Liner Ultra Skinny Gel Eye Crayon. So it's just a little twist up one. So I'm first going to line my water lines. And one of the reasons I picked this eyeliner is because it's not super black, especially on the waterline. It doesn't come out like really strong. And her liner wasn't super black. It might have even been like a grey pencil that they used. And then I'm going to line my lash lines. So lower lash line and top lash line. And you don't have to get them super neat because we will be smudging over them with a shadow. And then we're also going to trace around the tear duct so it goes all the way around the eye. And it just emphasizes that inner corner shape. And then before I move on to the next eye, I'm going to start smudging this with some shadow. So I'm going to mix a little bit of the Gunmetal and Creep shades, because it seems to be kind of a greyish or silvery grey shadow. So I'm just going over the lash lines and smudging that. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to use the Gunmetal shade for now, which is the more silvery shade. And I like the fact that they, you know, mix the warm golden tones on the lid with the cool silvery tones around the lash line. I thought that was a nice twist. So I'm basically just running that over the liner that we did and pulling it upwards with little blendy motions. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on the other eye. I'm just going to line my lash lines and then blend it out with the Gunmetal. Okay, so from there, I'm just going to add a little bit of mascara and then some individual lashes. So this is the Arbonne. It's a long story mascara. It's just a little sample size. So for our lashes, I'm going to be using a mix of some medium cluster lashes and some shorts. I'm going to start with the mediums and work inwards. Just picking them up on a tweezers and dipping them into some glue that I have on the tray. And then we'll place that down. And they don't need to be super close together because her lashes didn't seem to be like super full. It's just that they seemed nice and natural. So I just popped 4 mediums on the outside and then 3 shorts towards the inside. So then that's basically the eyes done. It's just really subtle but defined. So then we're going to move on to the face. I'm taking Inglot's Yellow HD Primer and I'm popping that all over. This is a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And then for foundation, for me today, I'm just going to mix the L'Oreal Infallible with the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. And then for the under eyes, I'm going to go back to that palette. Why not? Just keep it simple and take that lighter shade. So I'm bringing it right down onto the cheek and up onto the cheekbone as well, and then I'll also take it through the centre of the face as a highlight. So you can see the difference there. It just completely brightens that area and also adds a little bit of coverage. So then to set that, I'm going into my Ben Nye Bella powder palette, and I'm going to take this lighter one here because I just feel like the foundation is a tiny bit dark, so just to lighten it up a bit. I'm going to take that on a Morphe M527 brush, and I'm just going to press that into the skin. And then just for a touch of contour, I'm taking MAC Harmony. I'm just going to use that on the same brush. She didn't have anything like too intense contour wise, but just to add a little bit of shading. And then for blush, I'm going to take a nice pinky shade. This is MAC's Pink Swoon. And then for the lip, she had a lovely natural pinky shade on her skin tone. It's kind of hard to get the exact shade off of pictures because there's different pictures from different lighting, so you're not sure what's true to colour. But I'm going to start off with Flormar's 229 waterproof lip liner. So I just use that to get my shape and lightly fill in all over, but I feel like that's a little bit too peachy, so I'm going to go over a little bit with the Collection Cream Puff Lip Cream in Cotton Candy. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of the Tarte Lip Surgeons Matte Lip Tint in Alluring, I think this is. So I think that's as close as I'm going to get this shade as far as I can see from pictures, but and also it's going to look different on my skin tone than her skin tone. So let's just take the hair down and add in the earrings. So guys, this is the finished look. I hope you like it. It's nice and subtle, but a little bit glam as well. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up by clicking the like button that's down below, and also subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you on board. As always, there'll be a link below to my blog post where I'll have a full product list and more pictures of the look. So do check that out if you're interested. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.